The camera pans across the quiet hallway of Ridgeway High School, echoing with the distant sound of laughter and footsteps. Suddenly, the door of a storage room bursts open, 3 boys stumble out, their faces pale, eyes wide in shock. One of them clutches his wrist, trembling. Inside the dim room stands Lila, the shy girl everyone thought was too weak to fight back. Her eyes are calm, her breathing steadied out. A single light flickers above her as she whispers, almost too softly to hear. Lila Matthews was the kind of girl who disappeared in crowds. She always sat in the last row, spoke softly, and kept her eyes on her notebooks instead of people. Since transferring to Ridgeway High, her quiet nature made her an easy target. She carried herself like someone carrying invisible weight, pain, loss, and memories too heavy for a teenager to bear. Every day, she ate alone. Every day, she heard the whispers, "Look at her," one of the boys would sneer. "She walks like she's scared of her own shadow." The ringleader, Brad, loved to humiliate her. He was tall, strong, and the kind of student teachers thought was a good kid because he smiled at the right moments. But his smile hid cruelty. Alongside him were Tyler and Chase, his partners in crime, loud, arrogant, and always looking for someone weaker to bully. Lila never reacted. No tears, no anger, just silence, but deep inside, that silence was not weakness, it was control, because before coming to Ridgeway, Lila wasn't just a regular girl. Her late father, Major Ethan Matthews, had trained her in self-defense since she was 10. "Never start a fight," he used to say, "but if someone hurts you, finish it quickly." After he passed away in a tragic accident, Lila and her mother moved to a new town for a fresh start. But Lila promised herself she'd never use those skills again. She wanted peace, she wanted normal life, but peace wasn't what Ridgeway High had in store. It began small, books thrown off her desk, whispers in hallways, cruel jokes during lunch. But one Friday afternoon, things escalated. Classes had ended. The hallways were nearly empty. Lila was gathering her things when she felt a hand grab her backpack. "Where you going, little mouse?" Brad sneered. Before she could reply, Tyler laughed. "Storage room's empty today. Let's teach her some manners." They dragged her down the corridor, ignoring her protests. Her bag fell, scattering her books. Her heart raced, but not with fear. Something old stirred inside her. Something she had buried years ago. They shoved her inside the small, dim storage room and locked the door. "Now you'll learn to respect your seniors," Brad said, stepping closer. Lila looked up slowly. Her eyes, once timid, now burned with quiet resolve. "I don't want to hurt you," she whispered. Brad laughed. "Hurt us? You?" But when his hand reached for her shoulder, she moved. One swift motion, his wrist twisted backward. He gasped, falling to his knees. Tyler lunged forward, but Lila sidestepped and delivered a precise kick to his leg. Chase tried to grab her from behind, but she ducked, grabbed a broom handle, and swung just enough to make him stumble back, winded. 3 seconds. That's all it took. The bullies who once mocked her now lay groaning on the floor. Lila stood there, breathing deeply, her hands trembling slightly, not from fear, but restraint. She unlocked the door and walked out, whispering, "I told you not to touch me." The next day, rumors spread like wildfire. Some said the bullies were attacked by a gang. Others claimed they fought among themselves, but Brad knew the truth. And so did his friends. They avoided Lila completely. For the first time, the school that once ignored her now looked at her with curiosity and fear. But Lila wasn't proud of what she did. She sat alone under the old oak tree behind the gym, staring at her hands. Her father's words echoed in her mind. "Strength isn't about hurting people, Lila. It's about protecting others when no one else will." That night, she made a decision. If her strength could scare bullies, maybe it could also protect the weak. A week later, she joined the self-defense club. When Coach Dan, the instructor, saw her moves, his eyes widened. "Where did you learn that?" he asked. Lila just smiled faintly. "From my dad." Under her guidance, the club started welcoming bullied students, kids who were too scared to stand up for themselves. Lila taught them discipline, confidence, and courage. The same kids who once cowered in hallways began walking tall. Brad, now humbled, approached her after practice one day. He looked nervous. "Lila, I'm sorry. For everything." Lila studied his face. For a moment, she saw not a bully, but a boy ashamed of his mistakes. She nodded. "Then do better. Don't just say sorry, prove it." From that day, Brad started helping with the self-defense sessions too. Slowly, Ridgeway High began to change. The laughter in the halls wasn't cruel anymore, it was real. And Lila? She finally found her peace, not by hiding her strength, but by sharing it, the camera shows Lila walking down the hallway confident, calm, no longer invisible. A soft smile crosses her face as she passes a group of students practicing basic defense moves. Her father's voice echoes faintly. "You're strong, kiddo. But never forget real strength is kindness with boundaries." Sometimes, the people you call weak are the ones holding the greatest power inside. Never underestimate quiet souls, they might just be the ones who change everything. If you were moved by Lila's story, don't forget to subscribe to SH Stories for more powerful, emotional tales that touch your heart and inspire courage. Your support keeps these stories alive, so hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for the next story.